Hello, it's Elysha. Welcome back. And today I am talking about Mercury retrograde because it's coming and I want to help you figure out how to navigate through this time when the planet of communication it moves backwards. So before I get started, I just want to say that astrology, using any of this kind of metaphysical stuff like psychics or tarot cards, I think it's really fun and I think it can be insightful, but I don't recommend using these to drive or control your life. And the reason that I say this is because I used to do that. There was a time back in my 20s, I was living in the same place I'm living now on the Lower East Side, but I used to ride my bike around at night because I'd go out with friends, and on the way home, I'd be riding my bike and there was this tarot card reader and she used to sit, she had this like little card table that she used to set up on the corner of Avenue A and 4th Street, and she was there. This was during the summer, so it was nice weather, everyone's out and about, but it was always late, like after midnight, and she was there every night and I would ride by and I'd stop and I'd sit down at her little table and I'd pay her money, and I wanted her to tell me why was my love life in such a shambles and how do I meet my future husband. I just basically wanted this lady to tell me what I needed to do to live my life. And I would listen to her, like whatever she said, I would follow her instructions. The good news is that I did end up meeting my husband, and it did not come from the instructions of a tarot card reader. It actually was incredibly fated in the way that it happened, but that is a different video. Today's video is about Mercury retrograde, and I just wanted to preface it by saying that don't take all these guidelines, all these rules, don't take them to heart and live them so strong that they get in the way of you living your life, because that's what I used to do. So now I still love astrology, I love tarot cards, I love getting psychic readings. I haven't spent money on this stuff in a long time because it's become more important for me to listen to myself, to be in touch with my intuition, and to follow the instructions that come from inside me as opposed to paying someone to tell me what to do. But I do love a good astrology forecast that comes out every month. I definitely look at them each month. I like on the night of the last, let's say like on the 30th of the month, I'll be like, when is it coming out, you know, for the next day, because I just can't wait to read it because it's helpful and it can give you information. Like I think it's really useful with scheduling because, you know, certain transits, they influence certain activities. So I just use it for some scheduling stuff, and I think it's fun to pay attention to. I do not let it get in the way of living my life, but it's a language and I speak the language. So I like speaking this language. And if there's ever anybody who I meet who speaks astrology, that is just so entertaining for me. But today what I want to do is interpret a little bit this language of astrology for you to help you move through Mercury retrograde with a little more grace and a little more ease. The main thing that you want to know about the next 3 weeks with Mercury in retrograde is it's a time not so much for starting new things and plunging forward into new territory. It's more about refining what you've already done. So going back and looking at the choices that you've previously made, and maybe they need to be a little tweaked, but here's an easy way to figure out if it's a good activity for Mercury retrograde. Basically, just put the prefix re, R-E, in front of any activity, any verb that you're gonna do, and then it becomes Mercury retrograde friendly. So reconnect with friends, refresh your wardrobe, I really like that one, revisit old projects, and recheck all your appointments. Delays are the name of the game during Mercury retrograde because it's all with this miscommunication that's going on. The planet of communication, which is Mercury, it's moving backwards. So communication is just all backwards, really. So recheck all if you're traveling, just expect delays, and repeat yourself when you have to, just to be extra clear and to really make sure that you're saying exactly what you mean. Other things you should do during Mercury retrograde is hold off on buying big ticket items like big electronics. This is definitely a no-no during Mercury retrograde, and so is signing contracts. I do not like signing contracts during Mercury retrograde. It makes me just feel very tense. And even for my husband, he'll talk about this new contract that's coming up. I'm like, well, you better hurry up because Mercury's going retrograde and you can't do it between this and this. So I do still live my life a little bit with the contracts with Mercury retrograde. Because what happens is you're signing this language that was created for Mercury retrograde, and then after Mercury goes direct again, it doesn't make sense anymore. So you're signing into something that you're not really intending to sign for because it changes, the communication, it changes with Mercury. So just remember, it's really about going back and revisiting what you've already done, reorganizing, like get into your kitchen cupboards and redo your kitchen, you know, put your plates down low and put your glasses up high. Like this is a great activity during Mercury retrograde. Go into your computer and reorganize all your photos. That is a huge task that I definitely need to do, maybe during this Mercury retrograde. But don't really think about initiating anything new. Just go back and rework what you've already done. Another really good thing to do during Mercury retrograde is to check yourself and see how you manage frustration, because there are a lot of frustrations during Mercury retrograde. Like I said, delays, they're just a part of it. It's just the way that it goes. So how do you handle the frustration of sitting in an airplane on the runway and not moving for 2 hours? You know, that is definitely an annoying situation to be in, but how can you handle that frustration in a way that doesn't totally stress you out? So that is what I wanted to share with you today. Just a few tips on how to navigate the terrain of Mercury retrograde, and I hope you found it valuable. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be back here next week with a brand new video. I'll see you then. Okay, bye.